Chris, start us up.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We're recording this Thanksgiving morning.
Happy
And Dave
Thanksgiving.
Dave was 1 minute late.
I was.
So tell us why, Dave. This is episode 101, by the way.
Turkey special. Turkey Day
Turkey
special.
Turkey Day special.
Turkey Day special. Well, no, we didn't record last night because I passed out, fell asleep
Week.
as always. But we agreed today to do 8 a.m. and it's literally 8 a.m. and I'm setting up and Chris is sending me messages saying I'm late again as always. Well, the reason is I got called up. I was laying there this morning drinking coffee and I'm like, it just hit me out of nowhere. I said, you know what? This weekend's rifle season, opening day of rifle season. I said, I want to get back to filming my hunt.
Mm.
So I literally popped up out of bed. I went in my closet, hunting closet, and I started ripping all my stuff apart, trying to find my filming camera, my batteries, I don't even know what they're called anymore. The camera arms, the everything. So I got all my batteries charging. I got my second angle GoPro batteries charging. Like I don't know where it came from, but I'm super excited to film my hunt this weekend. And I did all in the past, like 8 years ago, I filmed every hunt. Like I was religious with it, but it got to a point where I got burned out from filming hunts, and it started ruining the enjoyment of the hunt. And
Yep.
I literally just stopped. Like I got thousands of dollars of filming equipment, camera, these special fourth arrow camera arms, and all this stuff. And I got bored with self filming hunts. So I gave it up for several years. So this will be like all my batteries are at 1%. I couldn't even find half of my stuff, but um, this will be the first self filmed hunt that I have done in probably 4 years, 3 years. When did we last hunt the farm together? 3, 4 years ago?
At least three.
Okay, so maybe this will be the third year of not filming anything.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm back in it. I found my my variable zoom, so I can use my thumb to zoom in and out and
Mm.
record. And so I'm gonna set it up Saturday morning, and I'm not too concerned about getting it on film. But if I film some action and it turns out to be a good video, then so be it. But
Yeah,
it's not going to be the end of the world. I just want to if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
for
Um,
sure.
I really enjoy filming other people. We kind of talked about it a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago, but I really enjoy that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was scrolling back through some of my old videos and
Hmm.
and the stuff that we had at the farm.
Yeah.
And looking back, I never was concerned about shooting a deer there.
Hmm.
Obviously, I was having more fun just holding
Filming.
the camera and
Yeah.
filming
Yeah.
and waiting to see if you got a shot because there is no pressure on you with a camera in your hand,
None.
and you can sit back and enjoy it and
Yeah.
take it
Well,
all in
yeah.
and try to get the lay down the best footage you can. And
Hmm.
some of those videos we did at the farm, I look back at them and I'm thinking, man, those are pretty dang good. Even the
Yeah.
ones I edited, I did, and I'm not a great editor, but even the ones that I did, they turned out very nice. You
Yeah,
know?
it's cool to look back on and edit, put it together, and all that. I mean, like you said, there's no pressure when you're kind of self filming each other or whatever. But obviously, the TV show guys they got pressure because they have to
Yeah, they
create a show. But
right.
it's on the cameraman. But if you're just doing it for fun or YouTube or something,
Yeah.
there shouldn't be any pressure. But when I was self filming, I was pressured. I felt pressured because I thought I was obligated to get all this film and footage and get the kill on shot because I was working with several companies and I just felt the pressure of that to perform for them.
You're
But then
right.
it got to the point of, you know what? This is dumb. Like I just want to enjoy my hunt. I don't care about the self filming anymore. So I gave it up, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm in a different instance this year, which is pretty cool. Um,
low gang.
yeah, I've got my son out again,
Yep.
which I'm very happy about. He's been ill for 7 years at least and been out of the game with Crohn's disease. And
Hmm.
he is now starting to stabilize enough that I can get him out and hunt.
Right.
And half of my archery season was taking him out, me even without a weapon,
Hmm.
just taking him out. And everybody's like, "Oh, you didn't shoot a buck yet." I'm like, "You don't know the circumstance here, you know?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, you're not going to pressure me to shoot a buck. Second of all, I'm enjoying my time with my son. And third of
Hmm.
all, I want my son to get a buck."
Right.
So he's after a rack buck. He shot when he was a young fella. He got a spike and a 4 point before. So now he's looking for something 6 or bigger. So the area we're going to is going to be a public area, but it's on the border of a 6,000 acre lease, and we have posted behind our stands, about 80 to 100 yards behind us. And last year, I shot a stud out of the same tree that I set up in yesterday.
That's the
In
one
front-
you sent me this morning, right?
Yeah, that
You
picture.
shot there.
Yep, yep. Now he had a couple busted tines, but yeah, that was a pretty nice buck for public land,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I'm excited about that. And the moral why I'm saying all this is I'm not probably going to even pick up the gun and pull the trigger. I'm just going to sit there with a gun. He thinks we're hunting. He's hunting. I'm going to have my little camera, my handy cam in my pocket, and I'm hoping um, that when we see some deer, that one of them has a decent rack and he can get a crack at it, and I'm going to try to film it. So that's going to be pretty cool. If it all works out, it'll make a nice video. Hey, can't hear you.
What about now?
You're back.
So are you going to hunt Saturday and Sunday with him?
I am. I don't know if he will. I don't even know if we're going to make it all day. We'll see.
Right. It's supposed to
It's
be
supposed
cold.
it's supposed to be bitter cold, and he is not used to that. First
Right.
of all, and second of all, if his colon starts to spaz out and he has to go to the restroom, I got to get him home. You know,
Right. Yeah.
because he's down to a couple, mainly one visit to the restroom a day. But when he gets in there, he's stuck in there for a while. And I can't have a kid with his pants down in 19 degrees for an hour, butt hanging out in the cold,
Right.
freeze. He'll have freeze sickles to his butt.
Right.
Yeah, I'll have to get him home, but
Well, just
it
keep him
is
out
what
as
it
long
is.
as you can.
Yeah, it is what it is. He might make it all whole day. We'll see. You know,
Where
we
I mean, you're going to come out at lunch, right?
I won't if he's
Oh,
if he's good.
I got you. If he's
I
good,
will. Yeah, if he's good, I'll stay. I'll sit the whole day.
better give him that
Um,
heated vest.
yeah, yeah, I'll let him wear the heated vest and I'm gonna strap on the underwarmer.
Oh, there you go.
that heated shirt thing. I got a couple of them left, and I'm gonna get that strapped on, and I'll let him wear the heated vest. And I
So
got two batteries.
you're gonna find this funny. Sometimes I do dumb stuff. Um, so I spent all that money over the past 3 years on the First Light gear.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say that I ran into some extra money recently, and I decided to buy something else.
Uh-oh.
So I ended up
From
buying.
from First Light.
No,
Oh,
I shifted gears now
shifted.
because the advertisements got me. They lured me in
I
to
know where
buy
you're
this.
going. I know where you're going. Say
No,
it.
you don't. You don't know.
I bet.
Nope.
Good.
Nope. So I ended up seeing all this advertisements for QU gear. I think it's QU,
KU.
KIUI or
Yeah,
something.
there's UIs, UIs,
Oh,
UIs.
so
Yeah.
I kept scrolling through Facebook and Instagram looking at hunting stuff, and this advertisement kept popping up.
Mhm.
Brand new for 2024 for the rifle hunter and all this other stuff. And it was I think it's pronounced QU, but
Yeah,
I
something
think
like
it's called the Haven suit.
that. Okay.
Haven? Might be the Haven. But anyway, it's this waterproof, windproof jacket and bib set.
Okay.
And it was $800.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. But it's supposed to be top of the line, like whatever advertisement they suck you in with.
Mhm.
And I have no experience with it, so I'm not recommending them yet. But tomorrow is going to be the first test with it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna I'm gonna wear my First Light base layers, and then I'm gonna wear probably like a t-shirt under all that, and then just this jacket and bib set. I got.
I thought you was gonna use another word.
You thought I was going to say heated bodysuit?
Nah, I thought you was
No.
gonna say Sika gear.
Oh, no, no, no.
Sitka gear, however you say.
Nah.
I thought that's what you was gonna say because that's been popping up all over my news feed like crazy.
Yeah, there's a store out by you, big hunting store. I can't remember the name of it. But I went in there one day. It's not close. It's like an hour away from you, but um, I tried Sitka gear on, and I just didn't like the feel of it. Um, so I ended up getting the QU, and I got it like last week, but man, it's really comfortable, and it feels like it's going to be legit. So
Okay.
tomorrow's supposed to be, or Saturday's supposed to be like 18 degrees in the morning, and it's only going to like 28 with like 10 to 15-mile-an-hour winds.
Hmm.
So
So
I'm gonna try it
yeah,
out.
I'm anxious to hear about that then.
Yeah, so I'll give a report back on that. But yeah, so Saturday, good luck to you and Logan, and um, I'll be out all day as well, Saturday and Sunday. And
Yeah, so
then
you lost your hunting partner. Tell us.
I did. So TJ, I take every year with me rifle hunting. That's really the only time he can get out. Well, he's had some. He's probably listening, but he's had some foot problems over the past year. So last year he tore his uh, one of the major tendon in his foot. So he had surgery on it. It healed up. So his other foot, like 2 3 months ago, was giving him problems. So he went and got an MRI on it or something, and he went to the doctor and they gave him a steroid shot in his foot. This was like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. It was getting better. Then he was outside playing with his son, and he was just kind of they were just kind of running back and forth a little bit, and he pushed off of that other foot, and literally he said he heard like an audible pop in his foot,
Mm.
and he couldn't walk, laying on the ground, pain, scream. So he goes, he tore that tendon now.
Yeesh.
So now in his other foot. So now he's got to get I think another MRI on that next week, and then he's got to get another surgery on it, which he'll be out of commission for the next 8 weeks. So
Jeez.
he's I know he was super bummed out. He bought extra First Light gear. It showed up at his house yesterday, ready
Oh
to
my.
go. He bought darn tough socks, like he was all ready to go, and his stuff's coming in, and now he can't go. He's bummed out.
Oh my.
So I'm hunting solo again this year.
Stinky.
So he wants me to give him some deer meat and all that. And then one last thing, real quick, and then we'll jump into today's podcast. We're blabbering here, but um, I don't think I've ever asked for this ever, social media or nothing like that. But my father is getting triple bypass surgery on Monday. He met the doctor. He's all ready to go. I'm taking him and my mom and my sister Monday morning at like 3:30 in the morning to the hospital.
Mm.
I think his surgery's at 6:45. Um, he's worried, freaking out, but the surgeon seems really really good. Um, so I guess just everybody wish him the best of luck there with that. He's never really had any major surgery like that, so it's kind
Yeah,
of
for
spooky
sure.
thinking you gotta
Mm.
split your chest open, spread it open, and they gotta take like arteries or veins or something out of his leg to bypass the three clogged arteries in his heart. So he's gonna have a long recovery, um, and all that. But everybody's got a game plan with his sister,
Yeah,
and
it's a
she's
long
gonna
road.
he's gonna be in the hospital for 4 to 7 days, and his sister's gonna end up picking him up, I think, for
Mm.
that. And so we'll see how it goes, but hopefully,
Yeah.
um, it better it better work out. So, um, yeah,
Yeah. So last week we talked about improving your property and evaluating last what you've seen last year and what you wanted to do for some projects maybe this winter or how you wanted to improve your land for next year. So that did pretty well. Lots of listens and views and things. So this week we want to talk about specific, like let's literally narrow it down to things we can use how to do it, ideas, how big, how small. Let's get into some specifics.
Yeah. So I know like the listens on that topic was very good on like the iTunes and all that. And then recently, I didn't forget about anybody, but I didn't know you could comment on Spotify podcasts. I
Mm,
get there's like a comment section now. So I looked at Spotify yesterday, and there was tons of comments, and thankfully, we have a 5-star rating on
nice.
Spotify that I didn't know about. I wasn't aware of it. So the
Hmm.
people that commented, I did reply to you. They were like 6 months old.
Oh my.
So I replied to the people, so whoever they were, appreciate the comment, and
I didn't know you could do that. I
I
wonder if
apologize.
can anybody get in and look at the comments?
As long as you have a Spotify account, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I didn't know that, so I apologize to anybody that felt left they were left hanging, but there was like questions,
I
so
had no clue.
I responded to them. So my
No clue.
apologies.
No clue.
But
I'll have to check it out.
yeah, so and we also have a 5-star rating on iTunes. I don't
Nice.
know how that's possible, but we have a
Nice.
5-star rating.
I had a
Um
couple of people text me and say, "Hey, man, really like what you guys are doing."
yeah,
And,
I get that
and
too.
sometimes we feel like, man, what are we gonna do next? This is hard.
Right.
Keep coming up with subjects, and
Yeah.
sometimes we feel like it's just blah blah blah. But
Yeah, but
people are listening.
I think
People are listening.
it resonates with a lot of people, and some
Well,
people
we're just
just
average guys and
yeah,
trying to do better and help other people too along the
right.
way. So I mean,
Yeah.
people can connect with that, you know.
Mhm.
And I think that's why some people watch. Like they don't want some expert's advice, that's out there shooting a high fence 200-inch deer telling you you could do this on your property when it's not attainable, you
Right.
know.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, so some specifics. So I started a series on YouTube, and I started that first episode. It's going to be like 10 of them all through the winter time, and we're talking about how to transform your property. And that video got a lot of good feedback as well. But let's talk about, like you said, some specifics. I'll give one real quick. Is that you know you really if you watch that video, and we've talked about it on here before in the past, but you have to evaluate your land. And majority of properties that I've seen, whether it's just public land or private or you know consulting clients, you look through the property and you see it, I'm sure, in the mountains too, but some areas you go to, the woods is just wide open timber. I
yeah,
mean, you could just see 200 yards through this. There's no zero regrowth. And you watched my video. That area there was nothing. Zero regeneration of any kind whatsoever.
right.
And that's like a major issue. And when I go to clients too, like that's their property. Like
Mm,
that is the majority of what you see. And then when you have that situation, where do you hunt? Yeah, everything's the same in there. There's no regrowth anywhere. So where do you hunt? And that's the
yeah,
biggest hurdle. And I think that's what people have to like a specific thing that people have to look at. Like, how is my land look? Is there thickets? Is there regeneration? Is it wide open? You start with that, and then once you understand that aspect of of your land, then I think that's when it all can click and you can move forward with other projects.
well, and the issue comes in when you talk to people from the South that live on a pine plantation or something,
Right.
and those are the folks that are hard to help.
Yeah.
But in the same token, a lot of times they will harbor deer in the wintertime because they have that thermal cover or something. They may not have the browse for eating, but they might have that cover to have a deer stay there in that cold, windy, wet time, and they'll travel to food. So that's the way you can help folks like that way. You know, try to find the thickest spot on your property and maybe concentrate on that. How can you make that better? Because when it comes into late season like this, you know, the deer are probably going to be hunkered down in that, you know.
Hmm. Yep.
Um, I also wanted to talk about like tools. Like guys are like, well, I don't know, I don't understand, TSI. What does that mean? Um, what tools do you use for this? And creating bedding and all, and some of those are buzzwords and things, but you know, we've done some videos on just making corridors, and specifically, we would go in to a thick area where there might have been timbering done or something, and we know they're bedding close by. And we actually made, I don't know how long that trail was we made at the farm, where we just cut, like, laid down logs like maybe 2 foot wide, and just made a path going out towards
Food
a
plot.
food plot from a bedding area. And then we would take like a leaf blower or a rake, and and make a path. We'll make a literal path that they can follow and visibly see, you know. And all we had was a chainsaw and a rake. And the one day we had the habitat hook, which I think I bent.
You did, Ben.
I think I bent that thing. Um, what else?
Well, a backpack leaf blower.
Yeah, I mean, we had the leaf blower and the rake, and just some basic safety equipment and things. But I mean, that's all you really need. You could keep it really simple,
Hmm.
and you don't have to make a a logging road for them to follow. They will walk through a 1 foot opening, as long as they can fit. I mean, you should see some of the areas I walk through to get to the spots I hunt over on the mountain. It is mountain laurel that is growed in, and it's you literally sometimes have to turn sideways to scoot through there. I mean, it's so thick, and that trail will never grow in, um, because they travel it so much. Now, I mean, the leaves and everything might crowd you, but the trail itself, the dirt that they walk on, is always going to be bare there. I
Hmm.
mean, they literally travel through that spot. It's on top of the mountain, and it comes to a point out over the river, and it's it's a flat spot. It's easy walking, and they just travel that. But moral of the story is, it's like 1 foot wide some areas, maybe 3 foot wide in some areas. But yeah, you don't have to go crazy. You just have to make it clear and easy, because they are lazy by nature. I mean,
Yeah.
they will take the easiest route. So if you can make it easy on them, they will travel it.
Hmm.
What you got?
Um, I want to announce or say that when you mentioned thermal cover, uh, that's important. And a lot of people think that like a cedar thicket is thermal cover, and it can be. But what happens is, and what I see a lot when I visit properties is that, say that cedar or whatever is 15 feet tall, and then you're in a cedar thicket and you have all these cedars bunched up against each other. What happens is you start preventing the sunlight from getting down in there, and then 6 feet from the ground up, all the cedars are dead because the sun is not able to penetrate down to, and all those branches and stuff die from ground to 6 feet up. So when a deer gets in there, it's not thermal cover because everything's dead from from the ground 6 feet up. So I'll go to properties and be like, oh yeah, this is where this is my thicket. This is where all the deer bed. And we go in there, and it's not. The deer are not bedding in there in the wintertime and stuff because one, there's no food, and two, there is no thermal protection because the wind can just whip right through there because everything's dead from the ground up. So in that situation, you would have to start, thinning them areas out to allow, the sunlight to get down in there. And then after it regrows and things, then yes, you do have the thermal protection, from wind and such. And it can prevent, snow and stuff from getting underneath that tree and,
Yeah.
and all that good stuff, which, um, I the property I went to the other day, I filmed the video from. There's a pockets and stuff of holly trees. We have a lot of holly around here, and those holly trees hold those leaves all year long too. And they can prevent the snow from piling up underneath. So if you go in the wintertime, it's snowing out. A lot of times you can go around those holly patches, and you'll see a lot of beds underneath those holly trees, because there's no snow under them.
Hmm.
Now obviously you get wind drifts and stuff. It's not it's not foolproof, but they
Right.
can bend under there. But that would be an ideal situation, if you go to an area that has tons of cedars, man. Like they get overcrowded just like anything else. And everything dies from 6 feet down, and it is not thermal protection. It is very poor bedding cover, and it's very poor habitat.
Hmm.
With no regrowth.
Have
So
you
that
ever seen them eat holly, or
no,
is it poisonous to deer? Maybe I don't
I
know.
don't I don't know if it's poisonous, but I know like the island that I hunt, there's a lot of holly trees, and I've hunted around them, and I've never seen deer eat holly. And now that you mention it, and I'm thinking about it, I think it is poisonous to deer.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
wondering. Um, the first time I saw it was when you and I went down to hunt Sika,
Yes, there's a lot of
and
holly around there.
I I was looking at that stuff thinking, "What is that stuff?"
Hmm.
I actually took the phone over to it and shot, put it on the app, and it said American Holly. I was like, "You got to be kidding me! I've
Yeah.
never seen this stuff before." You know, it was
So I
wild.
just I just did a simple Google search. It says no, holly trees are not poisonous to deer, but they eat the berries and leaves.
Oh, they will.
Now, that could be true. I've never seen that happen, and we have tons of holly around here. So
Hmm.
it could be in one of those situations at the old farm
Huh.
where they get so hungry and they're eating pine needles.
Yeah.
So
I
they could
mean,
be like a last resort type thing.
could be. Could be.
Survival food like them,
Yeah, survival.
like Twinkies is to you. So um,
Yeah, boy, I haven't had a Twinkie in 100 years.
cookies and cereal.
Oh, definitely cookies.
Did you eat your Captain Crunch this morning?
I had Frosted Flakes, by the way.
Very good.
Yeah, Frosted
Um,
Flakes.
so what else you got?
I don't know. What else can we say about
Well, I
you
think
know improvements? I mean, do you have water? Do you need a water hole? You know,
mhm,
um, there's times and places for that.
yeah,
Where I'm at, I don't need water. I have a river. Um, my property has a creek. There's a swamp. I don't need water holes.
yeah.
Do you? I mean, you might.
At At my new farm, I have 2 water holes. I have one that, we put up on the ridge, which is directly off of a bedding area, and then the other one kinda up front, which is on a travel route, below the food plots, and both of them get hit very hard. I have trail camera videos and stuff of does and bucks, and of course, you get the raccoons and stuff in there. But they tear their water holes up. I mean, they're very attractive. TJ shot his buck over that last year. Came to get a drink of water. The activity on them picks up, right around mid to late October. Gets really good in like November, December because the deer are moving around, exhausting, moisture. So they have to get more to drink. But they hit them hard there. Um, I don't really have too many bears. I'll see a bear like once a year, and it literally walks right past the water hole, never touches it.
Really?
Yeah, every year I'll get maybe I'll get like 1 or 2 days a year in the summer where I'll see a bear, and it's literally following my travel route that I made for deer,
Uh huh.
and it walks right past the water hole and never touches it.
Hmm.
Um, but I wanted to say too, what else you could look at is you know the type of trees that you have, because if you have wide open timber, what do you do to improve that timber to get more food value and cover really too, because you don't want to, if you're hunting a property and you can see straight through it, it's not good. It's not a good deer property. Um so like what trees can you cut and such, to start with, maples. I have a ridge top on my new farm that I did a lot of cutting in and turned that thing into a bedding area. And I have just pictures all day long, which is where I'm hunting tomorrow, Saturday. Um, but like these maples, man, these red maples and stuff, I've cut some, flush cut
Hmm.
some, and I've
Yeah.
also the smaller ones I've hinge cut. And I got videos on YouTube where that stuff just flourished. I
I
mean,
love cutting maples because you get all
yeah,
those stump sprouts,
right,
especially if you cut them early in the spring and they
right.
sprout all summer. Oh
Yep.
boy.
Oh, the deer tear them up. you
Yeah,
know,
and then all the buds that are on the ends, they
fresh.
come in. Oh, they nail that stuff.
Yep. So not only you're getting the sprouts, but you're also, depending on the canopy type you have, but you're getting the sunlight back down in, so you're
Yeah,
gonna get, regrowth
some
of other
regen.
things.
Yep, get
Um,
some regen in there.
like elm trees, they're good at hinge cutting, getting the sprouts or even just flush cutting. Um, maples, and then I focused last winter on my farm cutting beech trees, because
Mm,
those beech trees are just, I mean, massive beech trees, and they literally just shade out everything.
yeah,
And obviously, I didn't cut one couple that were good for tree stands because they hold the leaves, but in the areas that I wanted sunlight, I just dropped them. Just dropped
mhm,
them down, and you could just, I mean, you just feel the heat from the sun after you cut them, because it just allows, they're so
yeah.
big, and it just allows so much sunlight in.
We don't have very large beech trees here.
Man, we got massive ones over there.
Yeah, I wish I did because they're great for a
For
beech nut.
Yeah.
That beech nut. Um, I mean, you have to weigh the options here. I mean, do you need the feed in your lot?
Hmm.
So do you keep the beech tree for the nut, and or is it so big, like you said, that you need to get rid of it?
Yeah.
But the beech trees are very beneficial though to all animals. Like bears will tear them up, man. They love
Hmm.
those little beech nuts.
Yeah.
Um,
I hate
turkeys
bears.
can get. I love bears. Turkeys can get to those beech nuts. Uh, I mean, they're very beneficial if you have a smaller tree that produces. But if it's too big, like you said, take it out.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I don't know the proper trees to be taking. I just look at my area and I look and see where I need to get the sun down. Um, that's my biggest concern on places is getting the sun down to the ground.
Yeah.
And if in the maples, like you said, the maples and the oaks are the ones that produce the most tonnage of leaves that will blanket the ground and smother everything underneath it.
Hmm.
So, you know, it might not be a bad idea in the springtime when you do cut down something like that, maybe go in with a leaf blower and uncover the dirt. Get the dirt exposed so that the sunlight can actually do its thing,
Hmm.
because I find, and this just pertains like to food plotting, I've noticed it when all the leaves are dropping and they're blowing out into the food plot and they blanket an area that's up against your food plot, it smothers my clover.
Yeah.
So I've already gone over twice now and blown the leaves back into the woods off of the plot so that it doesn't smother my plot, because I've noticed the last couple of years it's dwindling up against the woods. My
Right.
clover's been dying, and I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. Why do I have to frost seed in there every spring? And then I figured it out, you dummy. You, there's leaves blanketing the dirt and smothered the clover, but it was easy to replant and frost seed it because it was bare dirt again.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's a whole process, but it was easy to get it to regrow. But I don't want to have to frost seed that every year, so I was going in there and blowing the leaves off and letting that aerate and get the sun down to it. And last year uh, I didn't have to frost seed underneath there because it did its own work.
Hmm.
You know,
Well, also something else to mention too with these maples, because I love cutting maples, but think about it in the springtime, those maples are the first thing that buds up in the wintertime. One of the
Mhm.
first trees, they get the red leaves and stuff you'll see budding out way before any other tree. So if you cut those maples and stuff and they have enough sunlight in the wintertime, they're going to be one of the first things that regenerate, through the sprouts and stumps and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good, if you have a large area, it's going to be a lot of tonnage to the deer before technically spring green up.
Hmm.
So that's something to consider as well. But and if I
That
decide to keep this farm, that one more year, I'm going to be doing some other cuttings and stuff too. If I don't decide to move on, but
Yeah. Well, and that would be a great way to hold deer too.
hmm.
Everybody says, "Oh, I want bedding. I want bedding." Well, if you pound the snot out of an area of maples,
Oh, you'll hold deer.
you'll create that bedding, but yet they don't have to go far because they're gonna have all them buds and sprouts. They'll stay right in that spot, for a
Hmm.
while until they
Well,
extinguish it.
like like you just said, the bedding and everything, and bedding can be appropriate. I mean, obviously, if you see through your property, it's not good. Like you got to have some structure on the ground. But
Yeah,
I had somebody ask me the other day. They said, "Dave, how come you didn't do more cuttings, or you and Chris didn't do more cuttings at your old farm?" Well, that place was timbered, you
yeah.
know, so there was already tons of structure on the
Mhm.
ground, and we created that food, back there, and it basically we sucked deer in to that area
Right.
because there was structure on the ground. Now, if that property was wide open timber, I mean, that landowner had gave me permission to basically do whatever I want. If that was a wide open timber, then yeah, I would have created structure on the ground. That way we can hold a little bit more deer and then suck them in. But
Well,
that
if they
that
remember, that's why we had to make the corridors because there
yeah,
was so much structure laying down that the deer were blocked.
right, exactly.
They were
So,
just zigzagging and up and down and around trying to get to the food plots.
mhm.
When we made a direct route, crap, we could set up stands where we wanted to then and
Well,
just ambush them.
that just goes to show you what you mentioned earlier in the I think you mentioned it, but that's from somebody watching a video from somebody saying you have to have bedding on your property and they think it's appropriate for every property. Well, that property, we didn't need it. It was already there. Why
Yeah,
would we cut more?
no.
I mean, we did some very little cutting, but it was already there. So just because somebody makes a video and shows you, hey, you do this TSI on your property, you put this bedding, you're going to shoot a 200. You did mention 200 steer. That then everybody then they sell that to people thinking, oh, if you do it, you're going to have it as well. Well, no, there's isolated properties. There's different things. Each property is going to be different than others, but just because somebody says, "Oh, you have to plant red oaks or dogwood, or you have to do, this or that on your property, you're going to kill it." No, that couldn't be further from the truth. Each property is different. It's a different scenario every time. The principles and the ideas are the same, but each property is going to be different.
Yeah, not
Which then,
everything's applicable to your property,
correct,
you
exactly.
know. So, well, we've ran over our time a little bit,
Real quick, hold on, keep talking.
so like I said, we want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and by the time this comes out, it'll be opening day is Saturday in Pennsylvania for buck, and oh, he's got his deer back. So by the time it comes out, you guys have already done a sit in PA or
Look how weird that
some
is.
some of the surrounding states. Hope you had good luck.
The brow tine goes behind the deer. You got one, then you got this 8-inch brow, you got another brow, and a brow that wraps behind the ear, goes all the way around the back side. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Full velvet, first buck ever in velvet. Full velvet. And I finally got it back the
Yeah,
other day.
he is a freak show.
Mer, mer.
He is a freak show, no
Yeah,
doubt. That was a
I
good
got.
one.
I still got one more I'm waiting on. I
So
should
the
have that in the next.
velvet feels okay. It don't look like it
Nah, he
peeled
preserved it.
any or
And
anything. Yeah,
nope, preserved it, and
nice.
it's good to go. That was an archery velvet bow buck, opening day bow buck,
And
and I'm still
that was in Maryland.
that was a Maryland public land.
Yep.
I was back into a swamp, and that's where he came. And I still got my other buck I'm waiting on, which I shot at the farm, which those titled, we called him 210. I'm still waiting on that one. He does good work, but if he's listening, I apologize, but he gets backed up and he gets
Well,
tied
that
up with some
happens
stuff.
nowadays because some of the better ones are exceeding, and then some of the lesser ones are falling off. So
Yeah,
it's hard to find a good guy anymore.
yeah. He's been in business a long time though, so we we work together on some stuff. So I appreciate his effort. But anyway, yeah. So podcast 101. Uh, we'll see you guys on 102 and Saturday. We're both going to be filming. Chris filming his son. I'm going to be self filming myself, and maybe
Yeah.
we'll have some hunting videos to bring to you.
Yes, sir.
All right.